So exorcists are actually the vessels for their Malachim. You can do that too, can't you, Magilu?
Of course! This fair maiden has won the Malachim's Choice Award, Most Desirable Vessel, 3 years running.
Oh? Then you wouldn't mind replacing Eleanor as Lafisette's vessel, I hope.
Thanks, but no thanks. I have my hands full dealing with Bienfu as it is.
If I ate Bienfu, you'd have room.
Still wouldn't work, kiddo. You saw it with your own eyes. Even if only for an instant, that kid actually held his own against the power of Inominat. Not even the resplendent Magilu can handle something of that power.
Indeed. After everything we've seen, it's obvious there's more to Laphicet than meets the eye.
Yeah, but that Eleanor woman was still able to become his vessel.
That's because, unlike Miss Magilu, Madame Eleanor actually tries!
Anyway, we need to find her and beat her. She'll just bring us more trouble the longer she's out there.
Oh, we'll find her. No doubt about it.
Hey, Velvet. I've got something that might help with Inominat.
Oh, is this that book you took from the villa?
It is. Look closely at the crest on the cover.
It's the same one from the temple. Does that book say anything about Inominat?
Yes, but I can't read it. It's written in the ancient tongue.
Oh, don't cry, baby boy. My friend Grimoire might be able to decipher that for you.
Really?
Well, maybe not. She'd have to take a look first.
Well, where is she? Your friend, I mean.
No idea. The last letter I got from her was sent from Isolde down in Southgand.
Not much to work with here.
True, but I'll have fun watching you try.
Oh, I'll find her. Don't you worry about that.
That's the spirit. Don't give up just yet.
You're up. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. Listen. Don't try anything like that again. Pain is scary, right?
I'm alright. No more running away.
I'm Laphicet. It's good to finally meet you properly, Eleanor.
Yeah, likewise.
Don't worry. If you try running, you won't get far. Once I've eaten your arms and legs, I merely need you alive to act as his vessel. Nothing more.
That won't be necessary. I swore an oath before our duel. An oath grants power in exchange for a certain constraint. Mine was, if I lose, I will obey my opponent. Once put in motion, an oath cannot be broken by the one who swore it. I will keep my promise to you because I must.
An oath, is it? In that case, I have a question for you. What does the Abbey plan to do with Inominat?
To wipe out the demons, of course. We want to end the era of disaster once and for all.
And how exactly does the Abbey plan on wiping out the demons? Is Inominat going to wander the land, slaughtering them all?
They never told me. Inominat's ritual is kept confidential even within the Abbey. All I know is that it involves Melchior.
Then it looks like the only way we'll figure out Inominat's true nature is by deciphering Laphicet's book. We'll have to track down Magilu's friend, the one who can read the ancient tongue.
If we go to Isolde in Southgand, we ought to find some clues to her whereabouts.
But first, we have to figure out where we are now. We need to find a settler or a village. Something.
I'm surprised us chuckleheads even know our own names.
Even the greatest scholars don't know everything at first. You can't get answers without asking for them.
Fair enough. Hard to argue with that.
I've never seen a Moloch quite like him.
Eleanor, your job is going to be to protect Laphicet, even if it brings you into conflict with other exorcists. Because if you turn on me...
I know. Like I said, I can't betray you.
Listen, Laphicet. If she makes any strange moves, I want you to stop her immediately, okay?
I don't think Eleanor is such a bad person. Besides, she's oath-bound to her promise.
She's lying, obviously. That's only something you do if your life depends on it.
Yep. An oath is an art that takes complex rituals and lots of hard work and time. Hardly worth the trouble, to be honest.
I told you already. She wants to take you away from us. Women are creatures of deceit, boy.
If you say so.
She's right. Of course that goes doubly so for Velvet the Vengeful Villainess.
Well, I won't deny it.
Huh? This stone. It's
just a rock. Take it if you want.
I think it's really rare. The way it sparkles. I think it might even be bright steel.
Bright steel? Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's actually a rare metal used to forge weapons and stuff. You don't find it just anywhere.
If there's bright steel here, that means we must be in either Endgand or Islegand. Both are a long ways off from Midgand. I doubt the Abbey has many people stationed out here.
That's our pirate! Arr! Here there be treasures shiny and sentries few!
At the very least, this could mean we'll be left alone for a while. Nice find, Laphicet.
Thanks.
Now wash your hands.
Okay.
Laphicet, I'm sorry about what happened back there.
I thought he was going to kill you.
Yeah, I know. You were just doing what you thought was right.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's good then. I didn't give you a clear enough warning to stay out of it. If it ever happens again, I'll give you a proper warning.
You really don't want me to help you? Even if your life is at risk?
Yup.
Why?
Actually, I'm not too sure myself.
Huh?
There's somebody out there I need to defeat by my own hand. I want to strike him down. I want to triumph against him. But to do that, I need to be a better swordsman.
Someone you have to defeat.
In a sword fight, yeah. And I'll do anything to ensure I come out on top in the end. No matter how much it costs me. Life, limb, hell, even my heart and soul, I'll pay it. Those feelings have been so central to me for so long. I lost my dang humanity somewhere along the way.
Why do you need to win that badly?
To be honest, beats me. Maybe it has to do with me being a demon. Or maybe that's why I became one. Either way, it's more important to me than life itself.
More important than life.
But still, I owe you for saving me back there. There's no victory pose in store for me if I'm dead.
Okay.
Is that how you thank someone for saving your life?
Huh? I'm just being honest with the little guy. And no offense and all, but why do you care?
You don't even think it disrespectful? You truly are a demon.
Yep, big old demon.
Now why does that name sound so familiar?
Hey, Eleanor? Thanks for stepping in earlier.
Think nothing of it. My orders are to protect you, so I did.
Oh, I see.
Of course, orders or no orders, I'd save anyone under threat from a demon.
Well, how noble.
Oh, I got it!
Got what?
The tragic tale of the sword Stormquell. Gather round and listen, oh grimy travelers. Once, centuries past, there was a sword renowned the world over for its peerlessly sharp edge, its forger shrouded in mystery. So mighty was each swing of the sword, it produced howling winds that could level mountains. No other sword could match its power. The people, in their superstition, began to call it the God Blade.
This Godblade, is it Stormquell?
Shush! The tale is merely beginning. Now, there was one man who was truly enamored with the Godblade. His name was Kurogane, a blacksmith of wondrous talent. His heart was set on forging an even greater sword, and he had a name in mind for this sword. Stormquell, the sword to conquer the Godblade's roaring winds.
And did he make it?
Kurogane forged scores of challengers to the Godblade, but each would-be Stormquell was shattered by the implacable howling wind. Some say the wielder of the Godblade chopped off his head. Others say he took his own life. The truth is lost to the dusty cobwebs of history. But perhaps he, and his grudge towards the Godblade, somehow yet live.
A grudge that spans centuries.
You hear tall tales like this all the time. That sword and its inscription we saw were probably just inspired by the legend.
Perhaps. But if that's the real Stormquell, we should all sleep with one eye open tonight.
What makes you say that?
Because that godblade Kurogane wanted so desperately to top has been passed down through my family for generations. Its name is Stormhowl.
In other words, we could well bump into your armored friend again. Let's hurry it up.
Velvet, aren't we going after him?
This is his fight. It has nothing to do with me.
But Shigure said he'd be waiting at the port. He may be a nutball, but I don't think he's fool enough to let us slip past.
Exactly. And as a swordsman, he's even more skilled than Artorias, and that's saying something.
We're mice with our tails pinned, and the cat's licking his lips.
At the very least, Kurogane seems to have some kind of plan.
Fine. We'll hear what he has to say. What were you thinking, Eleanor? Attacking a legate like that?
I just thought Rokuro was going to die if I didn't intervene.
Oh? You'd kill one of your own allies for a demon?
I acted without thinking. Sometimes I'm too soft-hearted to a fault.
I'd say it's less that, and more just stupidity. You're supposed to be protecting Laphicet. Don't get yourself into trouble you don't need.
Even if one of our own is in danger?
Even then.
This kid must be really important to her. All right, I understand.
Laphicet, next time she acts up, stop her. Understand? We don't know what she's got up her sleeve.
Okay. Thanks for not telling on me, Eleanor. And I'm sorry I hijacked your body.
I understand how it feels to want to protect your friends. The problem's with those demons, not you.
But I think Velvet has the capacity to feel the same way too. At least when it comes to her brother.
Is that why you're staying with her?
I'm not sure. It's hard to say.
I have to figure out what's going on with this group. If I ever hope to wrest the child from them.
Bad news! A group of praetors have left the docks and are headed this way! They said they were coming to purge Eleanor the traitor!
Purge?
Velvet, what do we do?
We take them head on. And you're fighting with us, Eleanor.
An order, I presume.
It is. Protect Laphicet. And defeat the exorcists.
All right. I understand.
Just remember, if we lose Eleanor, Laphicet will turn into a demon.
I haven't forgotten. But we need to pool all the resources we have. She needs us for her own ends. And we'll use that to our advantage in this fight.
Just don't push your luck too far, Velvet.
And so recently was she a noble, upstanding young exorcist. How quickly one falls when entering Velvet's dark orbit.
Ask me if I care. I guess that was as far as Eleanor could go.
I think so. Push her any further and she's bound to break.
Ever the virtuous exorcist.
That very virtue is what lets her be Laphicet's vessel. Besides, I can't help but admire her commitment. She's enduring total disgrace to accomplish her mission.
How uncommonly pleasant of you.
Pleasant folks don't use people the way we do.
Yeah, you've got that right.
Hey, Rokuro. Why did he call your Stormhowl a reject?
Well, you see, when blacksmiths make swords, they don't just make one at a time. They make a whole bunch. The best one of them all is the one that gets presented to the sword's commissioner, while the rest are tossed aside.
Huh. I didn't realize the standards were so high.
The head of my clan gets the real Stormhowl, and his siblings get the remainders.
So one is real, and the others are imitations?
I guess so. Shigure has the real one, and... yeah, guess that makes mine an imitation.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply...
Don't apologize. You got me to finally realize something. It might just be why I'm so hung up on beating him.
Oh.
And to Velvet, Which Laphicet is real, and which is the imitation?
What are you saying?
She means my name. It's the same as Velvet's brothers.
The one who went and got sacrificed by Artorias.
Surely you are mistaken. Our shepherd would never do such a thing.
But what else could make Velvet hate Artorias so much?
I don't...
So you have a truth, and Velvet has a truth. Now which is the real one, and which is the imitation?
The crew's holding up well for a bunch of folks at death's door.
What do you mean? Is this Corsair's scourge fatal?
Quite. No one knows what causes it, but it starts with a high fever and ends up with the body falling apart like sand.
Like sand?
Once, there was a great band of pirates who ruled the seas, but the disease spread through their ships and killed every one of them. That's why it's called the Corsair Scourge.
Does that mean we've been infected as well?
You humans, for sure.
Only humans fall prey to the Corsair Scourge.
Then it could have gotten to you too. Right, Moggy Lou?
Oh, right! Alas, that my glorious saga should meet such an ignominious end!
I can't allow our vessel to die from this. If you start to feel ill, speak up.
I will.
All right, we'll all be helping out in the search. Everyone but Eleanor, that is.
Huh?
Oh, why does she get to stay? I might be dying too, you know.
You're a witch. Magic yourself healthy. Now quit whining and get going.
Oh, not even a witch is safe from the ravages of the Reaper's curse!
The Reaper's curse?
Okay, where's the herbalist? If I remember right, the Corsair's Scourge needs a particularly special medicine.
Yeah, it's a wildflower called Salatoma. Its juice can cure the Corsair's Scourge.
Well, doesn't sound too tricky.
Let's not relax until we have it in hand.
Right. Now let's get going.
Hold on a minute. Won't you just be spreading the disease if everyone wanders into town?
Surprisingly, no. For whatever reason, you can only catch it over the ocean waves. It's speculated it might have something to do with the salt in the air, or maybe the microbes in the seawater.
Nobody knows the cause for sure, but there are no recorded cases of people catching it on land.
I see. A strange affliction indeed.
We'll be back soon. You all remain on the ship.
All right. Good luck out there, sir.
We've got to hurry.
Salatoma. Is this really going to be necessary?
What do you mean, Eleanor?
Oh, nothing. It's just, well, the herb is known to work well for fevers and the like, but it tastes bad. So bad. Some say it would even bring a demon to the brink of tears.
Maybe so. But better to drink it than to die, right?
Oh, I'm not worried. It just reminded me of stories from my childhood is all. Hey, Laphicet. What's the Reaper's Curse Magilu was talking about?
Supposedly, Aizen's presence has the power to bring misfortune to the people around him.
Is that some sort of special Moloch power or something?
It's worse than mere misfortune. At Vortigern, there was a sudden mass outbreak of demon blight, and many of his fellow crew died on his watch.
I find that a little hard to believe, honestly.
The Reaper's curse is all too real. It was the Reaper's curse that tore me from you and got me captured by Miss Mogilu.
Oh, is that so?
I missed you so much. The hazy halcyon days when I would blow on your cheeks to make your tears dry up.
Hey, that's not...
It must be destiny that we've been reunited. How I wish I could return to your side once more.
Do what you want. I don't care.
Really?
I won't stop you. Maybe she wants a Moloch who freely divulges a young girl's secrets.
I'm fine, thank you very much. I've already got Laphicet to look after as it is.
Aw, no fair! Is he the one who blows on your tears now when you cry?
He most certainly does not. And as of right now, you're a stranger to me. What?
Just so we're clear, Laphicet will do no blowing on any cheeks.
Of course not. I mean, not that it ever happened in the first place anyway. Just forget it.
Yet another victim of the Reaper's curse! Tails again, huh? That Reaper's curse of yours is consistent, if nothing else.
The curse even affects coin flips?
Seems that way.
A Malak's powers affect physical objects and can, at times, even synchronize with their wavelengths.
And in your case, it's that coin?
Yeah. That's why it always comes up tails.
You must forgive my skepticism.
Whether you choose to believe it or not is really up to you.
It might be worth noting that coin is also Aizen's vessel.
So is that wavelength business the reason why Laphicet always has that compass around him?
That's part of it, but in another sense, it's a kind of proof of his manhood.
Proof of his manhood?
Must polish you so you don't rust.
That doesn't make any sense.
For a praetor, you really don't know that much about the world, do you?
So what does this Solitoma flower look like exactly?
In a word, ugly. The flower itself is purple with leaves and stem of maroon.
An ugly flower. All right, I'll keep an eye out. That thing Zavid was holding? What do you think that was?
From the sound of it, it seemed to belong to Eifried.
I've never seen any object or art quite like it. Maybe it's that relic Eifried brought back from a continent across the sea.
An art from another continent. Do you think Aizen will be all right?
That Malak seemed to know what he was doing. I'd rather we just stayed out of his way, but
First the throne, and now here. What is Zavid after, anyway?
he was probably just making up that date business. But still, old Pointybeard?
Just like Eifried. When I was talking with Benwick, he said Eifried had a pointy beard.
You don't say.
Then I bet Zavid is that wanted Malak the Abbey's looking for.
Yeah. He must be aware they're after him. And then he baited Aizen into following him, using something that belonged to Eifried.
And I'm pretty sure Aizen knew that, but he went after him all the same. Ugh, this can only go well, I'm sure.
Is Aizen in trouble?
It doesn't matter either way, if his Corsair scourge goes untreated. For now, let's get back to the ship.
What's wrong, Laphicet?
I was just wondering why Aizen and Zavid can't work together to find Eifried.
All men their age care about is their reputation, their street cred. Such a hassle.
Oh, really?
Well, I can't fully deny it.
The same could be said of women, and of everyone, really. It's hard to work alongside someone unless you strive to understand their thoughts and feelings.
And if you can't?
Well,
It's like Zavid said. You start talking with your fists instead.
Sounds harder than I thought.
I don't get it.
Get what?
Why did Eifried let Aizen join his ship, knowing he carried the Reaper's curse with him? What good did it do? I just don't see the reason behind it.
Well, if it were me who had that curse, it would mean that you and Velvet could die because of it, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
If that's the case, then I'd feel like I'd both want to and not want to be close to you two. And I'd probably really hate myself for it.
Do you suppose that's how Aizen feels? But Eifried still took him in. He agreed they'd put up with the curse together.
It's all a bit hard to fathom.
Well, if one thing's for certain, it sounds like Eifried's a very strong man. At least for a base lawless pirate.
No one on guard. They're really not bothering to hide this trap.
They probably knew we'd sense it. The question now is just what they're planning to spring on us.
I thought I smelled someone pondering. What's on your mind, Laphicet?
I know Siegfried comes from another continent and all, but do you know anything else about it, Rokuro?
Nope, can't say I do. All I care about are swords. That contraption doesn't interest me much.
I suppose that makes sense. But it looked real powerful.
Just guessing based on how we saw Zavid use it, I'd say it amplifies his power somehow.
An amplifier. It's true that he seemed to get stronger when he fired it at himself.
Yeah, and it gave that dying legendary wyvern enough strength to escape.
But wasn't it also what he used to dispel Melchior's illusions back there?
That was also amplification. The Malachim are the source of his arts. The relic pushed them past their limits and kablooey.
Suffice it to say, it can be used both offensively and defensively. It must be very hard to master.
More important is what the Abbey plans to do with it. Not that I really care.
It's too bad that wasn't the real Ifried. But I'm glad everyone on the ship is feeling better.
Yeah. Though it sounds like they never want to touch that Salatoma stuff ever again.
What about Eleanor?
She took it too, and her face went all wah!
I don't mean how she looked. I mean how she actually feels.
Oh, well, she looks like she feels better too.
Good.
You're worried about her, aren't you, Velvet?
No, it's nothing like that.
Let me tell you something, kiddo. When young maidens ripen, they have trouble expressing their feelings.
So Velvet's ripen?
Mogilu! Quit giving Laphicet confusing thoughts!
No trouble expressing those feelings, I see.
All right, time to start deciphering this scroll.
Let's wait somewhere outside so Grim can concentrate.
Do you think maybe I could stay and watch? I really do want to study the ancient tongue. I promise I'll be quiet and not get in your way, teacher.
What did you just say, child?
That I'd be quiet and...
No, what did you call me?
Teacher? You said you didn't want to be called ma'am, so I thought maybe that'd work.
Yes, satisfactory. All right, I'll teach you how to read Ancient Avarost.
Thank you so much, teacher!
We'll leave you two alone then. Let us know if anything comes up. Eleanor, what's your game here?
The mother and daughter, you mean? That's on me. I'll search for them myself.
I don't care about that.
Well, what then?
Why are you actively helping us decipher the book, when we're using it to thwart the Abbey's plans?
You think I might be deliberately misleading you? Laying a trap of some sort for you all?
Are you?
I think you're a lot of things, Demon. But foolish is not one of them. I want to know the truth. I want to know what Lord Artorias is trying to accomplish. And there's something happening in the world right now. I want to know what it is. Unfortunately, little old Eleanor has never been deemed trustworthy enough to be given such information. So, my only option is to find out for myself.
You've got the soul searching down at least.
The Abbey and your band of rogues follow two different paths, but something tells me either will lead me to the same destination.
And so you don't see any need to lie to us?
Exactly.
And what'll you do if those truths don't line up cleanly with what you believe?
I'm not sure yet.
As honest an answer as any. Either way, it looks like you'll be working with us for the near future.
Yes, for now.
Hey, could I ask you something?
What is it?
About the Therians. I've heard you call yourself a Therian before. Is there any particular insight you have about them?
No, none. Artorias said I was one, that's all.
And that doesn't bother you?
Does it bother you?
Nope, not at all. If you're not worried, then neither am I.
I'm surrounded by freaks. But was that truly the reason Ceres chose me? Do you all remember the second verse of that song Laphicet read earlier?
4 Empyreans may tear him asunder, but so long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therians shall be forever reborn in sight of the full crimson moon.
Right. That's what I've gathered you all here to discuss. And we think that passage means that Innominat and the Therians will be revived by a chosen one, right? Yes, but the shall be forever reborn part kept bothering me. I've reconsidered my analysis. Suppose that instead of someone being chosen by Innominat to create Therians, the song means that Innominat chooses who becomes Therians. But so long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therians shall be forever reborn. What do you think that could mean? That someone receptive to Innominat's power will be reborn as a Therian.
Like Kamoana.
Which is to say that the Abbey figured out how to turn people into Therians, and then got right to work.
That's...
Are you really that surprised? Artorias has always been one to prioritize the many over the individual, as I well know. Another thing to consider is this wording about Therians being forever reborn. This could mean that one Therian will be reborn again and again, or it could mean that different Therians will be born to take their place. Meaning that even if you kill one, there are more waiting in line. They can't be wiped out.
Looks like prioritizing the one over the many was the right call this time. Eh, Velvet?
I never said I wouldn't kill her, if it would prevent Innominat's reawakening. But Therians can't be killed. Not truly.
So, in a nutshell, if you kill one, another person who's receptive to Innominat's power will be reborn as one.
Right. But the song says that 7 mouths feed the body, so there's only so many around.
If you don't kill them, the next ones won't be born.
Exactly. So we remove the 7 Therians from their Earth Pulse points instead. But then, we also have to protect them so the Abbey doesn't steal them back. Or kill them.
Sounds tricky.
We've got to protect my bug, too.
Yeah, you take real good care of that thing now. Got it?
You bet I will.
In that case, we should probably work on securing a proper hideout for ourselves. You got a secret base or anything, Eisen?
It's every man's fantasy, but sadly, I don't.
We need a hard-to-find spot. One where we can guarantee a steady supply of malevolence for the Therians.
Somewhere devoid of people but full of malevolence. Real poser you got there.
With the Abbey in control of the entire continent, finding a place like that will be easier said than done.
Meanwhile, Innominat's reawakening draws ever closer. We'll have to keep collecting our Therians while we search for a hideout. For now, let's just get to Logris.
Here we are, back in Logris. It was a lot tougher to get in the first time.
More funny than tough, if you ask me.
Oh, you mean Velvet's little dove act? Coo, coo.
I'd be careful teasing her if I were you. You know how she can get.
Oh, don't act like you didn't enjoy it too. I'm sure you did, right? Good little boys don't lie to adults, you know.
I might have. Just a little.
Say it like a dove.
It was funny. Coo, coo. Man, the capital sure is big.
Yeah, with historical buildings and artisans and all, there's much of interest here for a boy who loves to learn.
Uh-huh.
Sightseeing's nice and all, but don't wander off and get lost.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Don't worry about him. He can take care of himself.
I know, I was just saying. Eleanor, I need you to wait outside. The boss of the Bloodwings knows an exorcist is with us, but...
Say no more. I'm sure they have clients who wouldn't appreciate their faces being known to the Abbey.
Correct. Laphicet, you stay with Eleanor.
Okay.
I'll be back soon.
For a fellow born with silver spoons spewing out of his mouth, Princi Poo's rather laid back.
Prince Percival is an upstanding man, renowned for both his intelligence and his fair, just demeanor. It's widely believed that with him on the throne, Midgand's prosperity will continue and...
Look, I played dumb earlier, but I smelled that scent too. He wore it for us to notice. He wanted us to know just what sort of position he held. and how useful he could be to us.
He surprised me, at least.
Do you think we're being led into another trap?
We definitely can't take that possibility off the table.
When the time comes, he'll make a good hostage, if nothing else.
Not if the ones we face are after his life too.
For now, let's just make sure we keep an eye on him.
The prince. He said he couldn't go back.
I wonder why.
So, I think our next order of business is to find ourselves another Therian. Well, that's the extent of my insight. Anyone got any actual leads?
What if we had Eleanor swipe some intel on them from the Abbey? That could work.
I don't know.
It wouldn't work. Officially, the Abbey still considers her a traitor. So who would leak anything to her?
Yeah. Besides, we can't put Laufeyset in danger like that. And anyway, Eleanor's terrible at being a spy.
Ungracious, but accurate.
You know that special underground cell from yesterday? I want to go back there. There's something I want to try out.
All right, let's go. All right, so our target is an Earth Pulse point about as big as the one here. Let's start with the closest one and go from there. Which way is it?
The closest one is to the west.
Got it. Lead the way, Laufeyset.
My pleasure. It's here! This is the Earth Pulse point!
Nothing but open water as far as the eye can see. Is your Earth Pulse point down below?
Most of this world is covered by ocean. So of course there'd be a lot of Earth Pulse points in the deep sea.
But surely even the Abbey would have a hard time containing a Therian underwater, right?
Looks like this one's a bust then.
Sorry, everyone.
Hold on. We've seen a bug Therian. You don't think there could be fish as well?
You may have a point. I think I have just the solution for this.
You do?
This!
What?
Don't give me that look. I'll have you know this is Fujibayashi's rod. This baby's 9 feet long, made from a single piece of the finest bamboo aged 5 years, with a slow 60-40 action that almost feels alive when it bends. Its exquisitely wrapped handle feels like an extension of your own arm. And just look at that elegant black lacquer finish. It's as perfect a fishing rod as there can be.
I'm sure it's a lovely fishing pole, but fishing? Are you sure? This is a Therian we're talking about.
All the more reason. Remember who you travel with.
Okay?
All right, if no one else will, I'm going to veto this fishing idea.
Aw, come on, let's give it a shot. Besides, I'm hungry. Even if all we catch is fish, at least we'll have dinner.
I'd love to have me some koi or sockeye salmon.
Don't encourage them. How do you attach the hook to the line? Like this?
You don't go fishing much, do you?
It's just been a while. I used to go fishing with my brother sometimes.
This is my first time.
Then we can try it together.
I'll teach you how it's done.
I didn't know you could fish, Eleanor.
Yeah, when I was little, old man Tenny taught me. He was from my village. I've caught at least 100 treat loaches over the years.
Wow, that's a lot of fish.
Those two really get along. If I didn't know better, I think she's his sister, not his vessel.
Eleanor certainly got Laufeyset's number. Better watch out, Velvet, or she'll steal him away.
Laufeyset.
Let's get the line set up properly. First, you take it and thread it through the hook, like so.
That looks hard.
Hey,
Once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it with your eyes shut.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Laufey!
Huh? You mean me?
Oh, I was just... Be careful there. Wouldn't want you falling into the water or anything.
I'm not a little kid, you know.
It's just that Laufey fell in once. A long time ago.
Laufey? You mean your younger brother?
That's right. You reminded me of him is all.
If you say so. Is that all you wanted to say to me?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay then. I'm going back to fishing with Eleanor.
People aren't as easily swapped in and out as fishhooks, are they?
Is that supposed to mean something?
Oh, Velvet, you gotta get it a lot tighter than that. Here, let me take a look at it.
Huh? Oh, all right.
Something's pulling the line.
Stay calm. Fishing isn't about strength, it's about timing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Here it comes. You ready?
Damn right I am. I'll fillet it before it can even land.
If it's a Therian, don't you dare kill it.
Now!
Heave.
Well, what do you know? Neither a fish nor a Therian.
Well, shoot. Can't eat that.
Oh,
It looks like it fit you though, Laphicet. Why don't you try it on?
I concur. Maybe it'll bring out his unique personality.
my unique personality, huh?
Ugh. Not a bite.
Oh, quit your grumbling. Who was it who said fishing doesn't always go how you think it will?
Spoken like a true, heartless pirate.
Oh, hey! I've got something!
Whoa, looks like I'm next.
Hey, what do you say we track down another Therian?
Sure. From what I can tell, the next closest Earth pulse point is near the center of Midgand.
Midgand, huh? The capital's not far from there. I wonder how things are now that Griffin's gone, though.
Only one way to find out.
Maybe so, but Eisen's not here, you know.
You're right. I haven't seen him in a while. We should probably ask Benwick where he wandered off to.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's a letter here. On pretty cutesy stationery, too. Let's just have a quick look-see. As the cold turns bitter and the snow piles up on the mountains, I cannot help but think of you and hope you are in good cheer. As for myself, I am the same as ever, although I recently acquired a rare item that I shall be sending your...
It's rude to read other people's letters, you know.
Yeah, but how else are we supposed to find out whose it is?
Does it say who the sender is?
Uzfamiwu Wexov.
Who the hell is that?
Probably someone on this island, if I had to guess. Hey! Anybody lose a letter?
Do any of these folks look like the type to write a fancy letter?
Point taken.
It could be one of the pirates. Why don't we go to the docks and ask around?
Fine, just don't forget our mission.
No reply this time either?
But she's doing okay. I can say's that much.
That's good to hear. I can rest easy then.
Now's about getting that pot wrapped. I's got this new sunflower printer. How's that sound?
Yeah, that one's cute enough. Let's go with that.
Did he just say cute?
Help you with something?
Someone dropped this letter. Do you have any idea who it might...
You didn't read it, did you?
Wait, it's yours?
We didn't read it. Much.
You really didn't read it?
No, of course not.
Put this letter in with the package.
Who's got it? When you ship with the Turtles Express, rest assured your mail is in good hands.
If you're done here, we're ready to head out. Our destination is Midgand.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Was he sending a gift to someone? And with a letter, too.
Gotta be a lady friend, that's for sure.
You think? Either way, that letter was really polite. And did you see that penmanship?
Yeah, I didn't know old Reeps had it in him.
I can hear you two, you know.
Ah!
It's looking more and more like we're on the right track. We ought to go check out that Bloodwing story.
Then let's start by going to Stonebury.
Hey, Eisen, did I say something wrong back there?
No. I just didn't think we needed to give the Bloodwings any information for free.
Huh?
He means the Earth Pulse points, kid. We're the only ones who know about them.
But aren't we on the same side as the Bloodwings?
We're not enemies with them. But I wouldn't go so far as to call them our friends either.
That's just how it goes in the underworld. Things can change at the drop of a hat. A poison hat.
But how are they supposed to trust us if we don't show them trust in kind?
That messenger knew our faces, even though we'd never met. He was here waiting for us, even though we hadn't told anyone where we were going.
You're right.
We hardly know the first thing about them, and yet they seem to know every move we make.
They could easily sell us out if it struck their fancy.
They'll work with us as long as we're a useful ally in their resistance against the Abbey. But the more tricks we can keep up our sleeve, the better.
We've got each other's back, but only as long as we hold a knife up our sleeve. That's what counts as trust in the underworld.
That sounds terrible. But at least you can trust that Tabitha's cooking will be tasty.
Can't argue that.
Here! This is the Earth Pulse point I've been feeling.
No Therian and no barrier.
I must have gotten it wrong again.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. That dragon could well have broken its barrier. Or it might have been too powerful for the Abbey to subdue.
You could be right. After all, dragons make for the strongest demons.
The problem is, we don't know if it's a Therian or not.
Yeah. Let's stick with the plan and head to Stonebury to gather more information.
Am I the only one here who thinks the real problem is how we're supposed to fight a frickin' dragon? So, it seems old Check Out My Pecs and the dragon have some kind of close ties.
Did I hear you right? We're talking about a dragon here.
I know what I said.
But how could that be?
When Malachim are tainted by malevolence, a dragon is what ultimately results.
So you're saying that dragon was a Malak Zavid once knew?
She must be who he was praying for back in town.
Yeah, most likely.
But do Malachim put out malevolence like humans do?
No, not by themselves they don't. But if one remains in contact with humans or demons who do, it will eventually taint her, and she will become a dragon.
What about you, kiddo? You feel anything weird after you got thrown into the Earth Pulse at the Empyrean's throne?
I did, yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised. The air there was thick with malevolence being sent on its way to Enominat.
If I'd stayed there, I might be a dragon too.
Is having a vessel not enough to prevent a Malak from transforming?
A vessel can reduce the effect, but not eliminate it. By stripping their Malachim of consciousness, the Abbey exorcists seem to be able to inhibit the transformation. But nothing in this world is guaranteed.
Can a dragon ever be changed back into a Malak?
Nope. Just like with demons, there's no going back.
Do they still hold on to some part of who they were?
You saw that dragon. What do you think?
Well, that's...
But Zavid still won't kill it. Must be his creed at work.
Eisen, listen. Whatever business you and Zavid have with that dragon, I don't care. Do what you have to. But I won't tolerate you getting the rest of us involved in it again. Do I make myself clear?
You've got it.
Good. Now, let's get back to the Therian hunt. We'll regroup in Titania.
If what Eisen said is true, then could I wind up as a dragon someday? Or Eisen too?
I don't know.
I guess a dragon was a bit much to take on, even for the Reaper. You should get some rest.
We all should. I'll just get the crew started on readying the ship for our next departure.
All right, you go do that. Laphicet, you should get some rest too.
I'm fine. It's more important that I focus on finding an actual Therian this time. I'm going to take another try at sensing the Earth Pulse points. I told everyone I could find the Therians, but I've only sent us to the wrong places. Eisen, is there any way to boost a Malak's powers?
I guess it's okay for me to tell you this. The majority of Malakim today have their consciousnesses sealed away to be used as mere tools for the exorcists. But originally, Malakim were beings who received prayers from people, and in return bestowed their blessings upon nature and mankind.
So you're saying that when humans pray to a Malak, the Malak receives great strength?
Yes. In general, at least. Some Malakim, like me, buck the system and bring about misfortune rather than divine grace.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But who would ever pray to me?
Maybe he didn't lead us to any Therians, Fee, but it's not like we came back empty-handed. We found orichalcum to use against Shigure, and we also learned we can hold our own against a dragon.
Velvet.
So where should we go next, Fee?
Northgand! There's a big Earth Pulse point north of Helivis!
Works for me. Eisen?
We can leave whenever you want. Doesn't matter to me.
And I'm all set. Let's make our way to the harbor.
When I say prayers, I don't mean outright worshipping. All I'm talking about are earnest thoughts and feelings directed at you.
I see. So I'm already receiving prayers then.
Our next target is north of Helivis, near the Faldi's ruins. In light of everything we know, I'd say it's highly likely we'll find a Therian there.
Let's hope!
Then we should make our first stop, Port Helivis.
With the, mischief we got into last time, getting into the city might prove difficult.
Benwick, how are things in Helivis right now?
That shipping guild that used to handle our mooring is pretty much toast. But for some reason, the Abbey isn't watching the port as much as they once were. Unfamiliar ships have been hauling in relief supplies, so if we pose as one of the transport ships, I think we can slip in. And if we divert some supplies to an unofficial channel, we might be able to secure a new mooring partner.
Smuggling in relief supplies for our own disaster. Cheeky bastards, aren't we?
It's what'll get us in.
That much is true. It's a plan.
Roger. I'll get right on it.
It sounds like Helivis isn't what it used to be these days.
We need to ask around and find out more about what's going on here.
Agreed. Especially regarding the Abbey and those ruins. I'm also curious about this Medusa woman.
The ruins part makes sense, since the Earth Pulse point might be there. But why do you care who Medusa is?
Just a hunch. Something tells me she's worth looking into.
You're not gonna look into this Calamity chick? She sounds like a real terror.
Yeah, I think I'll pass. I already know plenty about what makes her tick. So, Diana was a girl-turned-demon who was killed by an exorcist. And her mother Medusa hated the Abbey for it. And the Abbey is using the Faldi's ruins up north as a prison camp.
It's a lot like what happened to Kamawana, isn't it?
It's natural for a mother to love her own child. To make that a crime.
What I'm curious about is the use of the word receptive to describe Medusa.
So long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therians shall be forever reborn. If our interpretation of that ancient book is right, it likely means she's receptive to Inominat's power.
Meaning they brought Medusa to those ruins where there's an Earth Pulse point, and then they made her into a Therian.
That would certainly put all the pieces together, yep. Plus, if this Therian the Abbey created already hates them, that's all the better for us.
Yeah, I imagine she'd be willing to work with us. Although, it sounds almost too easy. Did I jinx it? I just jinxed it, didn't I?
Probably, but we won't find out until we try.
True. Let's head for the ruins.
And don't worry, you totally jinxed it.
There sure are a lot of Malakim posted here.
They're probably here to protect the Therian, right?
One would assume.
The exorcist controlling them can't be far then. Be careful.
Hey, Eleanor. I was wondering, do you think I hurt Medusa saying that stuff to her back there?
I suppose you might have. But I was thinking the exact same things you were. Losing a mother. It's always a tragedy. I'm glad you stepped in and stopped her.
Thanks.
That Eleanor. I swear, she feels way more responsibility for everything than she needs to. You think we need to worry? What if she pushes too far and erupts with malevolence?
Malevolence is born out of many things. A prideful ego, the self-righteousness that turns a blind eye to one's inner contradictions. Eleanor is different. She's mindful of her ego and strives to confront her inconsistencies of character.
She has a purity of heart that won't be tainted by the emotions that create malevolence. No other quality is as essential for an exorcist.
So she's probably okay?
For now, at least. But human hearts can be fickle things. Who knows what the future holds?
I doubt you got anything to worry about. For most exorcists, purity is a construct of the Abbey's teachings. But Eleanor, she's the real deal.
She's not your average exorcist, I'll give you that.
Purity is handy for any exorcist. But more than that, it's a rare and precious temperament for living. Everybody's got an ego and certain internal contradictions to some degree. Facing one's own ugliness in an honest manner is never easy. To be a normal human is to live carrying malevolence. It's just how much you let it control you that varies.
I guess malevolence might just be a fact of life, huh? But Artorias can't accept that.
I hope Kamawana and Medusa won't have to feel so lonely anymore.
Yeah, trying to stop the waterworks gets old fast.
Listen, if it's not too personal, was your mother,
She's dead. I lost her when I was even younger than you.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. It just means we've got things in common. So no feeling sad and alone, okay?
Oh no, I'm fine. I don't feel lonely or anything, I swear.
What's gotten into you? You're so strange sometimes.
No, I'm not.
Eleanor, I'll have you watch over Kamawana and Medusa.
Yes, of course. I'd be honored. Thank you.
Are exorcists supposed to be so polite to a grand poobah of calamity or whatever?
Sure, why not? Besides, the Demon Lord ought to not trouble herself over such trivialities.
Velvet, Grimoire's calling for you. She says to bring Laphicet and meet her at the observation tower.
Got it.
We better get going then.
Ah, there you two are.
Hi, teacher. Have you made progress deciphering the book?
I have indeed. It turns out there was a second counting song. I've already transcribed it. Would you read it aloud for us, child?
Okay. When the 8 malevolences overflow, in the culmination of mankind's despair, Innominat will bring an end to all peoples and restore them to time immemorial. 4 Empyreans shall wield a wrathful sword and cleave the great devourer, 2 asunder to sleep beneath the earth, as scarlet moonlight illuminates the evil. The nameless Empyrean hath one heart. The nameless Empyrean hath one body.
Oh, yet more delightful material to keep us awake at night.
If I'm understanding this right, it's discussing the specific nature of Innominat? That's what I believe, yes. When the 8 malevolences overflow in the culmination of mankind's despair, Innominat will bring an end to all peoples.
So, when the world is at peak malevolence, Innominat will use that power to bring an end to all. Is that it?
He's going to wipe out all of humanity?
Is that what the Abbey is after? Is that why they've been trying to bring back Innominat?
No. Artorias is not that kind of man. His 2 primary ideals are the many over one, and the restoration of order through will and reason. He sacrificed Laphie to protect this world, not to eradicate it.
You mean that's who he is as far as you know, yeah? People change, Velvet. Perhaps the shepherd gave up hope. Maybe he lost faith in mankind. Fools prone to sin, endlessly generating malevolence.
He's not like that. If that's all true, then what point was there in Laphie's death?
Is there anything else in that book?
Yes and no. This copy itself is incomplete. There ought to be further pages, but they're missing. For now, I've done all I can.
There must be an original somewhere, right?
Without it, I doubt the Abbey would be plotting Innominat's revival. we can be sure they have complete understanding of their Empyrean's nature.
But this was the only copy in the royal villa. If the original is out there, who knows where it could be?
It's getting pretty late. Why don't we call it a day?
Yeah, let's get some rest.
Looks like the fog's rolling in.
Yep.
Eleanor, there's something I want to be sure we get perfectly clear.
All right. What is it?
Laphicet is not your little Moloch.
What? That's all you wanted to say? You realize he doesn't belong to you either, right?
Indeed I do. Laphicet's his own person, and not anyone else's.
You're right. Malachim aren't just tools to be used by exorcists as they pleased. I'll be more careful not to forget that.
Good, as long as we're on the same page.
Since we're on the subject of reminders, you haven't forgotten our little bet, have you, Velvet?
You mean the 100 gold on whether I'd break? No, I haven't forgotten.
A word of caution. People can fight against pain, but they can't fight against happiness. If you're keen on winning our bet, I'd steer clear of ill-fitting dreams.
Sorry to break it to you, but all I have anymore are nightmares.